What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we are going to be finishing off this mock draft with round 4 of 4. Yeah, my editing software has been down, so I have to restart my computer, and that unfortunately would have reset the entire draft. So if you guys have been looking out for the Ravens as well as the Browns mocks, that's where they're at. Just gotta let you guys know they're already recorded. So once we do that, we'll be good. So doing this will allow us to get you guys that content because we got a lot of good content coming. So of course, you guys got to subscribe to get all that fun stuff. You guys don't have to, but it'd be greatly appreciated. So let's kick this off. The Browns are sitting here at the 103rd pick. You know what's interesting? I'm pretty sure if you highlighted one of the picks, it actually showed you like why they got it, but it's not doing that right now. We don't need to worry about that. But the Browns, I think a position they could upgrade is taking a shot on someone at linebacker. You know, you got DAMONE Clark here. You know, obviously it wouldn't be a terrible option for the Browns to pick up an LSU linebacker. You got guys like Channing Tindall and Quay Walker. We're going to see, I believe, both of them at the Senior Bowl. That's going to be a very big plus. You could even look at guys like Owen Papo here. I don't think that's a good option because JOK is also very light. So getting a guy like Owen Papo seems like a little bit of the too many cooks in the kitchen type of play. Again, we're pretending Henry To'o is not going to be here, right? I think they should return. But you look at DAMONE Clark, he has all that you're looking for. And I know that I believe we got Walker for a 1-year deal. That's, of course, going to be, you guys can see all of that in the Browns video. But I think this is a good spot to take a guy for rotational depth. I don't think corner is really anywhere you need to target at the moment. But linebacker with DAMONE Clark is an excellent value. Micah McFadden's another guy I really like as well, but you got Tyndall and Quay Walker here who deserve some respect. So they'll probably be going this round. DAMONE Clark out of LSU going right there. Number 104 for the Panthers. They're back. So I think that this could be used to try to take a shot on a left tackle. You got RASHEED Walker still on the board, a guy who has a lot of room to put on some mass, a guy who can take a couple years to develop. It wouldn't be a bad option. I'd also look at a guard, though. I think that's probably the best route for you. And I'm pretty sure we already took my buddy who's out of Tulsa, Tyler Smith here, who could play left tackle and left guard. That'd be kind of your perfect pick in the 4th. I think that is the exact target. When I make my Panthers mock draft, you bet your ass I'm going to be doing that one, which that should be coming out soon because I'm going to try to do about a division a week. And this week might have 7 divisional mock drafts just because I want to get all of them done before the season ends. So when we do the final mock drafts in the off season, you guys will see all that. So honestly, I think going after a guy who will be able to help in the middle is going to be a little bit more important than helping out with getting another guy to hopefully help out on the outside. So I think that getting the value, essentially the value right here with Lecicia Smith and Ed Ingram is exponentially better than RASHEED Walker. I'm not a fan of RASHEED, and that's probably going to lead me to go away from ever picking him. Abina Eze, as well as a guy who deserves some respect. I'd never ever in the history of the universe draft Tyler Vrabel. I'm just going to let you guys know that right now. So if you guys are Tyler Vrabel fans, you guys need to watch a little more tape. He's not good. But the guards at the beginning of the year were the big issue. Obviously, left tackle is something that we still need to worry about. I think Brady Christensen is going to give one more year or going to get one more year of a shot unless you get a high-end talent like an Ike Ekwonu in the 1st. I still think that they're going to take a quarterback. It's what they do. It's what NFL teams do. Although I will say free agency might be pretty good for quarterbacks. We'll see what happens. But I think Ed Ingram is probably the guy. He's the guy I like the most. I don't really think he fits what the Panthers are looking for, though. I think Lecicia Smith looks a little bit more ready to be a Panther. So I also really like Lecicia. He's a very solid guard at Virginia Tech. They do a very good job run blocking as well as in the pass pro. They have a very unique scheme that is it's not that unique. It's pretty RPO heavy, but you obviously saw when Khalil Herbert was there, you saw how well the offensive line blocked for him, and Virginia Tech does a great job at that. So Ed Ingram's a beast, but I think Lecicia Smith is a little bit more of what Carolina would be looking for. So at 105 with the Jaguars, this is another team. Honestly, I'm pretty sure their guard situation ain't great. So Ed Ingram is somebody I am heavily targeting at this point. And we already got, Fedarian Mathis on board. I'm not really in the mood to get, I'm looking for their defensive end spot, like a really big ass D end. That's not really on the board right now. So we could look for a wide receiver. I don't know why people keep getting on my ass for not going wide receiver when there's a whole ass free agency full of them and there's not anybody worth this pick. You could go Justin Ross, pair him up with Trevor Lawrence. Wouldn't be a terrible idea, but I think we can do that later in the rounds just because, again, a guy like that with that spinal injury just is not going to be the same. I'm going to go Ed Ingram here out of LSU. It's a guy who he's going to be a very good mauler on the interior. Excellent depth, especially for when injuries happen. If he isn't the best at pass blocking, then he's a monster in the run game. I think that his value is certainly worth a fourth. And when I start doing all my deep dives, which again, that's also going to change how the mock drafts roll, then that is going to put a little more light onto exactly what I think Ed Ingram's going to project fully into the NFL. Because again, we got to watch all the tape, see how he progresses throughout the year. Because from what I know now, I love Ed Ingram for what he is as a run blocker, and I got to see how he progresses as a pass blocker. This is the round to take somebody who has that upside. Also like Kevin Dotson. Number 106, you got the Seahawks. Another team that could have honestly used Ed Ingram. And honestly, they've actually taken LSU guards in like the past. So wouldn't be a bad idea. But this is such an Alontae Taylor team to me. I mean, he's just perfect for him. So you desperately need a boundary corner and you have a perfect fit. It's very hard to find that in the fourth. And I love Alontae Taylor. He's going to be going to the Senior Bowl, so we're going to see even more of him there. But Caleb Evans is another guy who I think we should focus on here. But I think this next pick could be Noah Daniels. However, I do kind of want to see Brenton Cox in this role. So that wouldn't be a terrible idea to get Brenton Cox here. Again, he is a little bit larger, around 250. You can play, I know what the Ravens mock I just recorded, you guys are looking more for an outside linebacker, or not looking for the outside linebacker. You're looking more for the inside, the defensive end portion, because you have two outside linebackers or guys who can play outside who do an excellent job already, who are signed for multiple years. So Brenton Cox isn't exactly what you'd be looking for. However, it wouldn't be a bad option. I don't think it would be a terrible option at all. Because again, it's the best player available. Brenton Cox is not a bad player by any stretch of the imagination. I just think he lacks the motor to really put it into full gear. And to be 100% fair, I think we saw that a couple years ago with there's a guy the Jets drafted. I forgot his name. Ja'Kai Polite. Yeah, I'm surprised I pulled that one out of nowhere. Ja'Kai Polite. Yeah, he was a very high-end edge rusher, but just lacked that extra oomph that you're looking for. But this team could definitely use some extra depth at safety. You could look at tight ends here as well. You got Cade Otton. He's not a bad tight end at all. That's somebody who I'd draft around this range. He's just a bit older, right? Nothing bad about it. Josh Wiley and Billingsley, I'm projecting to return. So for people who keep getting confused with that, I'm just not drafting him. Josh Wiley, I love him. And same thing with Jaleel. It's just they're not going to be coming out. There ain't no way in hell. I think Josh Wiley just needs to transfer to a team that will use him and he'll be fine. But I think the best value is either for Brenton Cox, which honestly I might just do anyways. Two outside edge rushers doesn't mean that you're safe. Like one of them gets hurt, then you're kind of screwed. So honestly, we're going to do the best player available. I think that's the right move. Brenton Cox Jr. also, he fits what the Ravens are looking for. If he continues developing, hell, you can move him to the inside. He does play a lot larger than 250. And 108, you got the New York Giants. And this is a team that is looking for a linebacker. And you got Quay Walker, you got Channing Tindall here. Both of them excellent fits. You guys can look at all this. There you go. I think Quay Walker is going to be someone who's going to get a lot of hype. You could also look at Micah McFadden here. I do like him quite a bit. And I know the mic on this team is Martinez, but we could have Micah McFadden play there. But given how the mic is Martinez, I think a guy like Quay Walker fits a little bit better. So I'm going to be going after Quay. Again, you're pairing him up with some more Georgia players. I know they like these Georgia linebackers. So obviously Azeez Ojulari, I think it's a good fit. So we're going to be rocking with it. Number 109 with the Jets. So this is a team that can use a tight end or running back. You have some really good ones still on the board as well. Isaiah Spiller is kind of perfectly what they're looking for. We could go linebacker as well. You still could go Channing Tindall or Micah McFadden, Brian Asamoah as well. Needs some respect. So you could definitely go all of these guys because it is a need. But I'm gonna be going after Isaiah Spiller. He is probably one of the best power backs left on the board, and he may be a 3-down back. I'd just say he might fit best as an RBBC power. I'm not a huge fan of him. That's why he fell to this point. But for the value, he is very, very much worth it. 110 with the Seahawks. So we could look at somebody like Fedarian Mathis to make an impact on this team. Unfortunately, Brenton Cox no longer on the board. Very happy I took Alontae Taylor, or else I might have taken him here. So we had to do what we had to do. Josh Paschal is somebody who I kind of want to highlight here. He is honestly perfectly what this team's looking for. I'm going to be doing a deep study tape dive. Whatever the hell I'm supposed to actually say when I say I'm going to be going straight into the tape and looking at him in depth. He's the guy. He's the guy I'm going to be looking at because I have a lot of people talking about it. He's going to be playing interior. He's going to be playing as a defensive tackle. You look at his weight. I mean, the guy's 285. If they're going to say Zachary Carter is going to be interior, then this guy deserves that as well. Really damn explosive for his size. So there's a lot to like about Josh Paschal, especially in this round. So getting him here is far from a negative. O'Shawn Mathis was another guy I was looking at, just doesn't really fit what we're looking for. So again, we already got an edge rusher, but this is being more for interior. Logan Hall could be that as well, but I feel like Logan Hall is going to be stuck on the outside versus Josh at 290 almost can be more of that interior threat. With the Jets back on the board, this is going to be a linebacker, and we're going to go with Channing Tindall. I think we are. Micah McFadden could be a really fun one, but well, actually, we're going to go on Papo here. The injuries are going to push him down. I have him as a late third with the injuries. He's an excellent linebacker, really good in coverage as well. So this is my guy right here. I love Owen. He just had a season-ending injury. So him here might be a little bit way too early for the real NFL draft, but we'll see how he tests. If he's able to test at the draft, then I think we'll be perfectly fine with him at that spot. Number 112 with the Saints, excuse me. Honestly, I'd look at a wide receiver here as well. We went with Garrett Wilson in the first. I might go with the burner in the first. I'm not sure. But this is actually where I think a guy like Justin Ross wouldn't be a terrible option. Again, who else do you have? You're making people like Marquez Callaway, no disrespect to the man, look like he's worth starting, right? So imagine if you have Justin Ross in your rotation. I think it's worth it. You get to have a really good deep threat. Justin Ross actually can burn too, so I think that he'll test very well. Get his hype probably back towards the late day 2, early day 3. And then you'll go to a team like this where, if Michael Thomas doesn't return, he's their big guy. And I think that that's going to be a very big plus to have in that locker room. Number 113 with the Raiders. This is honestly a team where I kind of want to focus on maybe in this type of round lineman. And Rasheed Walker is perfect for this. He's a guy who's developmental, can put on a lot more weight. You can look at Abina as well, but Abina looks like he's about full size. He's just the perfect guy to continue developing, and you can put him anywhere on the offensive line. He has all the tools that you need. You just need to refine it and then be able to make him work at right tackle, which again, in the 4th round is worth taking. I can't stress that enough. Rasheed going to the Raiders seems like it could be a really good fit. Number 114 with the Falcons. So this is a team that could use some help on the interior. You got Fedarian Mathis here, who's just going to be a veteran who can step in day 1. You could also look at another probably offensive lineman. I just don't think any of them are worth it at this point. Cade Mays is my next guy who I'd take. Donovan West, if you want to look for a center, but I know we don't exactly need that. So unfortunately, offensive line is going to have to be a free agency issue. Quarterback, something you could take one at this point. I pray to God Tanner McKee says he's going to return, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he might have. I'm not sure at this point, though. Brock Purdy is a guy who I think will be sneaking around this round 4. It's a guy who you could consider. I'm not going to. I'm going to probably just go with the guy who is like, you got Haskell Garrett here as well. I do like Haskell Garrett, but Fedarian we're going to go Haskell. You get some pass rush from the interior defensive line spot. I think that is something that you guys will value. I like to take him probably in the round 3 anyways. So taking him here, he once had a pass rush win rate of 25%. He's shown that he can perform. 115 with the Dolphins. Let's go with a guy like Zamir White as a power back. I think that would be a great option. Looking at other guys, Rachaad White deserves some respect too. I do love Rachaad White. I think I actually have him above guys like Isaiah Spiller, but again, you got to look at scheme fit. And unfortunately, I'm actually quite surprised by this. I'm not sure if he could even return, but The running back out of Minnesota, Mohammed Ibrahim, like that guy is as many, and he has Achilles tear, but that guy's a beast. Zamir White's going to be taken around this time, just a pure RBBC back. And I think he fits well. This is the right spot for him. And I really like him at this time. 116 with the Eagles. I mean, this is a team that you could use another wide receiver at this point. To be honest, Khalil Shakir might be super fun. I'm actually kind of getting hyped about that. You know, it's a 4th round pick versus a 1st to test Jalen Reagor's ability to play. And this guy is a really good gadget weapon, especially after the catch. So test it out, man. What's the problem with it? You just test it out. Khalil Shakir out of Boise State. Number 117 back with the Dolphins, team that would not need Khalil Shakir for the people who are crying for him. You could go Alec Pierce here. For some reason, he's Mel Kiper's like wide receiver 7 or something like that. It's like, what the hell? And it's just really, really Mel. But unfortunately, there's not many positions of value anymore on the board. So let's see who's the best player available. You got Cade Otton, Fedarian Mathis. I don't think those are huge needs at the moment. Tyke Smith, another guy. Honestly, I love Tyke Smith. Like, just good players fall all the time, by the way. So if you think that I'm hating on some of these guys, you're wrong. But they're really good players. They just fell because of positional needs. The Broncos certainly are going to be looking at a guy like Tyke Smith. I got to see if the Broncos have taken a slot corner yet, just because, again, it has been a couple of days. You got Jackson Kirkland here. I highly doubt that we took a slot corner. Yeah, Myjai Sanders. So they're in need of one. We could do a 1 trade up anyways. So we're going to do that. We're just going to do a micro trade with the Broncos. Dolphins are going to be able to probably like move up in a round or something. So we're going to do that. 118 for 117. We'll offer like a next year 6th and then give them a next year 7. That makes sense, right? You know, you get to move up 1 round in the next draft. It's about right on the value. And they are going to be drafting Tyke Smith. People say he's a safety. He is not. They put safety just so people didn't get confused with the fact that this guy is a slot corner. So if you put him as a corner, people might think they didn't do enough studying that he's a boundary. And he's not. He's a slot safety. He played all of his snaps, or over half of his snaps every single year at slot corner. Played 6 out of the 7 snaps. And I know it's a very small sample size. 6 out of the 7 this year at slot corner, that other one being on special teams. So this guy's a beast. I'm a big fan of him too. So Tyke Smith, you know, he's a beast. I don't know where the other safety is that we got. So unfortunately, we might have accidentally just double drafted slot corner, which of course would be a little bit annoying. We got Daxton Hill. Of course, we double drafted. So we're going to imagine, well, honestly, Tyke Smith can still, I mean, you could use Daxton Hill elsewhere, but there's the first big slip up of the draft. We forgot to look earlier in the second. We looked at the Rams pick. So for this pick, we actually might do a different team to trade for Tyke Smith. We still need a boundary corner. So honestly, guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to imagine that Caleb Evans is this pick. Okay. We're going to have the next team who needs a slot corner come up here and pick a Caleb Evans, just so it makes sense as well that they can move up and pick Tyke Smith. I was going to move back the Dolphins anyways. So imagine this, Broncos fans. Caleb Evans, he's a 6'2", 200-pound corner with some upside here. So it's a 4th round pick. You guys do need to look at the boundary side as well. So there you go. First big slip up. Honestly, the Niners need Tyke Smith. So we already got them a high-end corner in Jermaine Waller here out of VT. We're going to have them move up with the Dolphins, which, by the way, the Dolphins and the Niners are pretty well acquainted at this point just because of all the trade talks. So the Niners are going to be moving up with the Dolphins to select Tyke Smith, but under the guise of it being, we're going to send a 7th round pick, under the guise of it being Caleb Evans. So Caleb Evans is already taken, but now we are going to be able to, we already went, oh yeah, we went the boundary corner. I was like, wait, what the hell is going on? Caleb Evans, it's not going to be Caleb Evans. It's Tyke Smith. I was going to go after both of them anyways, and I know that the Niners needed a boundary, or it needed a slot corner. So there you go. We're back on track. So for number 119 with the Bengals, this might be a good spot to go after a guy like Fedarian Mathis, somebody to bolster that interior of the defensive line. Tyler Davis as well, another guy there, but I don't think Tyler Davis, Fedarian's going to actually be able to bring day 1 impact. Again, redshirt senior, he's had a lot of experience and he can actually do something. We could look at edge though. We could. I just don't see many people who actually O'Shawn Mathis wouldn't be a bad option on this team, or Xavier Thomas, or Tyreek Smith. All these guys are pretty good. You know what? We're gonna go for the athletic freak out of Clemson, Xavier Thomas. Just lock him into this team. Don't allow teams like the Browns to be able to lock him up as like an edge 6 and then randomly have him be an all-pro. We just know the drill. For the Browns, back on the board. You know, honestly, for this team, I could see them going after another wide receiver for depth. Just not. This is not a great class. Xavier Hutchinson's a guy I do like quite a bit. You know, DJ Matthews, he's somebody I'm going to be continuing to look at this guy. When I first watched him, I thought he was a true freshman for one. So that was on me. But I had him as a mid-first. Like in the one game I watched, the sample size that I watched, he was a mid-first grade. This guy was incredibly good. So just a heads up for future mocks, he very well might be a guy that we test out. This could be a team that wants to trade up for a guy like Reggie Roberson or Xavier Hutchinson, who's going to be going this round. I do like Xavier Hutchinson quite a bit. We could definitely move that around, but we could also look into the safety realm. You know, you still have Jalen Petrie here at Baylor. You still have Nick Cross out of Maryland. You still have corners here like Noah Daniels, who are very good corners. And a team like the Colts, and I know they already went a corner. I'm pretty sure they went corner round 2 anyways, but this team, you're not asking for just one corner. You got Darion Kendrick. This is a team that could use multiple corners. So that's actually what we're going to do. We're going to trade up with the Colts. I think it's a bright move. You know, you can never go wrong with corner depth as well. You know, giving up a 7th round pick, you know, it usually never turns out to be worth it. Tackle is still something. Oh, we actually went after Tyler Smith to be that tackle. So I'm very happy about that. We're going to go Noah Daniels here at TCU. His talent's through the roof. Again, injury issues have been the only thing that's been holding him back. 121 with Washington. This is a team. I mean, you guys are finally coming around to this idea of offensive linemen. Just saying. Like, it was a thing. We could look at a guy like Obina Eze to be a backup tackle who has starter potential. I think that would be a bright move for this team to just continue investing in the offensive line. Nigerian native, Obina Eze. He's my favorite tackle left on the board right at the moment. So we're taking him. Again, it's a 4th round pick. Take him and enjoy him. 122, you got the Buffalo Bills. So this is a team that also could have taken a guy like Noah Daniels. Another reason for the Colts to move up. I think a boundary corner is the right move. You know, wide receiver, you just won't find the talent that you're looking for unless you're looking for Xavier Hutchinson, which honestly, it wouldn't be a bad idea. So I'm heavily thinking about Xavier Hutchinson at this point. I know that what we're trying to replace isn't really fixed by that. But given the fact also that Jamari Connor's another guy who I've actually heard some very good things about. Actually, I'm going to go after my boy Riley Moss here. Really good corner. I don't know why he's being so underrated. He's just getting pushed down for no reason. It's stupid. Again, before Matt Hankins, it's like ridiculous. Riley Moss deserves some respect, and he's a really good pick artist. He's an excellent athlete. It's stupid that he's here. So we're going to be taking him for the Bills. Could be their solid number 3 corner. Back with the Browns. Honestly, I wouldn't mind that if they took a quarterback like Brock Purdy. I just don't think he adds much to the team. This is a good time to continue investing in the offensive line. Tyrese Robinson can play right tackle or right guard. So getting him to back up Tyler Conklin wouldn't be a bad idea. I have him as more of a 5th rounder. Not very excited about him, but it's not a bad option. We could go Cade Mays here. Again, really good interior offensive lineman for you. I don't know if that's the right move. Jarrett Patterson, another guy. Honestly, we could develop him on this offensive line. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Honestly, it's where I'm going to go. He has a lot more development to do. His entire offensive line's crap around him, so I don't blame him for not being too hot. But that's where we're going to go. It's a center with guard versatility. That's going to push him up the board, especially with how terrible this class is. So him, Donovan West, also another guy to mention, but I'm just going to sneak Jarrett Patterson in there because Donovan West is going to be the next pick. The center is not solidified on this Dolphins roster yet. So a guy like Donovan West or Jarrett Patterson, whichever one you choose, would be a good fit. Centers are now off the board. Number 125 for the Chargers. I think a deep threat wouldn't be a bad idea here. Again, you could go after someone like Fedarian Mathis to be on the interior. Honestly, we're going to do that. You get a day 1 impact. You need help on this defense in the 4th round. Getting somebody who can actually play almost every snap on the rundowns is not a bad idea. So 126 with the Texans. Oof. Honestly, we could go after a guard right tackle hybrid again, like Tyrese Robinson. But this is a tough one. This is honestly a tough one because I want to get offensive line for this team. They do need help on the offensive line. You could Zion Nelson, I'm projecting return as well. So there you go. Because he's a true junior. He better return. If he comes out, it's gonna be the most stupid thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. I need to actually look at Braxton Jones. I haven't seen him yet. It's one of the few guys I haven't seen yet. So this could be a spot for a guy like Jalen Petrie out of Baylor or Nick Cross. I think we're gonna go Nick Cross though. He probably should return. If we're gonna be honest. Really athletic safety out of Maryland. Broshmo comps him if he tests out like it to be similar to what you have on the Panthers. And I'm bugging on his name right now. I know it's like right there. I can see his image and everything, but it's amazing I can pull random names out of like 3 years ago draft, but all of a sudden I can't do it out of one of the best safeties in the NFL. That's okay though. 127 for the Ravens. This is probably going to be a guy like THT. Looking for a slot corner like you were last year. You could go Sevyn Banks here as well. He's a good safety. Actually, we're going to go Sevyn Banks. He's a good safety hybrid. I think he should play safety, and this is a team that is unfortunately looking for safeties. So Sevyn Banks, definitely a guy who I would look for. For the Chiefs, I honestly think getting another pass rusher wouldn't be a bad idea at all. Not a fan of either of these guys. I hate Isaiah Thomas, just straight up. He's UDFA for me all the way. O'Shawn Mathis is a good guy for this team to continue developing their pass rushing. Again, you're not going to be starting him, so he's going to be edge depth. And a team like the Cowboys could honestly use him as well. I think it's a good spot. Number 129 with the Cowboys. This could be where we grab another tight end. Kate Otton's still on the board. We could trade back, to be honest. Charlie Kohler's here too. I don't know why people are disrespecting him that much. But Jalen Petrie, another guy you can add into the rotational mix. Cornerback, certainly. You could get Josh Jobe. I just don't like Josh Jobe. Honestly, I think the other guy out of Alabama is better. Where's the other dude out of Alabama? Where is he? He's not even in here. That's a little bit annoying. I think they're trying to evaluate him right now, so they're actually like sticking him out of this. But there's another corner from Alabama who's a lot better. I'm forgetting his name right now too. But given the Cowboys' position, I think going after somebody like Storm Duck, extremely young, versatile corner, would be the right move. He got picked on quite a bit this year, but he just has a lot of development to do, but there's a lot of potential. So I love it. At 130, we got the Ravens, and you know what? Honestly, the Ravens, this could be a spot for a trade back. I don't think that they really need much in terms of wide receivers, or we already got them a tight end. Offensive line, we've already gotten them both too. So there's not really, you kind of want to go best player available, and linebacker doesn't seem like a terrible option at this point, especially with Channing Tindall on the board, a veteran to be a rotational guy. I think that's the right move. Also, with the Titans right on their tail, I think that'd be a great option to just steal it from the Tennessee Titans. So speaking of the Titans, I think a guy like Micah McFadden wouldn't be a bad option to add into your rotation for linebackers. Obviously, you don't need it per se, but you could definitely rock with that. You could also look at an offensive tackle here. Fortunately, not many are really worth it at this point. So going with the best player available, I think Tyreek Smith is a backup edge. A rotational edge would be probably the best idea. I don't know why he's getting that much hate. He's really good. Another guy, Michael Clemens, will be going this round. He is one of my best, one of my favorite in this class, especially for the value. So at 102, I think this could be a good spot you could look, and you're not going to go offensive line here. I think this could be a good cornerback spot as well. And I think you go with somebody with a very important name, Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore's brother. It's a good spot for him. It's mid-fourth. You can definitely take your shot on your own, on like your guys, and see what happens. 133 with the Patriots. So I think this is a good spot to look at edge, to look at corner. It's kind of, it's a tough one here, to be honest with you, just because honestly, Michael Clemens is fun. We're going to go Michael Clemens. I just talked about him. We're going to be taking him. He's a beast. He had 4 sacks in a game this year. I think that he's heavily underrated at this point. Lock him in and be able to test him out. A team like the Packers could definitely go after a guy like Micah McFadden. We're just blowing through these picks, but honestly, I do like the fit. Steelers, wide receivers should be a position we look at. Just not really a fan of any of these guys, unfortunately, except Xavier Hutchinson. I love this guy. 6'3", and he has a lot to like about him. I think against Michigan State, he was lighting him up. I forgot which game he caught my eye in, but he's a guy who I think the Steelers could really, really use. Also, Sky Moore, is he in here? He's not even in here. So a guy like Sky Moore should definitely be getting a little bit of hype, and he's not even in this, which is stupid. Another guy I could see the Steelers trying to get because they like those guys who are unique route runners. 136 with the Packers. Another wide receiver wouldn't be a bad option here, but I know their tight end situation is pretty dire, and Cade Otton is still on the board. Same thing, Charlie Kohler, another guy who I really like. So there you go. 137 with the Ravens. Already got a tight end, already got like a corner safety hybrid. So we're going to get another corner, a true corner this time, because we got a corner safety hybrid. Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State. He has Kevin Durant length arms. So he's a guy I'm a pretty big fan of. At 138, I think this could be a good spot to trade back with a team that could be looking for a true safety. Actually, this team could use a true safety. I know we got a safety corner hybrid, but a team that could use a safety, we could honestly, let's move up with the Vikings. Vikings are going to move back into the round just because, again, when you get a guy like Petrie on the board, you kind of take him. So they're going to be giving up a next year 4th and a 6th this year for the Ravens 4 and 7. So makes sense. It's good value. The Ravens don't need all these picks. So they're going to be going actually with Jalen Petrie out of Baylor, a guy who is very highly acclaimed. 139 with the Rams. Honestly, the Rams could do anything they want at this point. Ollie Gay could be a really fun guy to bring in here. It's just, this is a weird spot for the Rams. I honestly am going to be going tight end here with Charlie Kohler, another guy who you can add to that rotation right there. Again, it's a 4th round pick, and he's the best player on the board. So just go best player available. Interior defensive line wise, honestly, let's just add to the rotation for the Bengals. I don't think that there's good enough value elsewhere at the moment. So getting a defensive tackle like Tyler Davis, having him for a long period of time, it's a good idea. Titans, I think ending off the draft, going Brian Asamoah would not be a bad choice whatsoever. Seeing who else is on the board, I like Brian Asamoah, just not as much as the other dudes, and this is a good spot for him. So we are going to be ending off the round with Brian Asamoah. So let me know what you guys think. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the far side. Peace.